Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Would you like even more content? Here's my Patreon. Now onto the stories. Case file number 1101, written by Sleazy for Weasley. My car healed itself. I bought a brand new Kia Telluride last year. I keep tweezers in my car because you can't beat that natural light. I'd only had my car for about a week. I was holding my tweezers, I made a right-hand turn, and accidentally sliced a large chunk out of the back of the steering wheel. Devastation. I couldn't believe I had been so foolish. As my fingers wrapped around my steering wheel, I would notice the slash every single time I drove my car for the past year. It was probably about a quarter-inch long. It was a deep cut, very obvious and noticeable. Until last week. I was driving and noticed the slash was gone. When I got home, I peered around the steering wheel. It's completely smooth now, as if there was never a cut. I'm so confused. Every person who had driven my car commented on it. What? Case notes are file 1101. My car healed itself. Oh, so I was expecting another classic quantum immortality experience. But if everyone you know realized there was a cut that wasn't there anymore either, it wouldn't be evidence of universal switching. This has much eerier vibes as a result. Kinda get Truman Show feelings here. Someone must have repaired it, but for what reason and why a year later? Now to be fair, it is entirely possible to repair a cut on a leather apparatus, like if you just have upholstery or any kind of skills like that. Technically a friend could have done it, but they would have mentioned it unless they're trying to prank you, gaslight you, but I don't think they would. It definitely does strike me as something strange going on. Case file number 1102, written by The Snyderman, a time loop of cash. I used to ride my bike to school when I was a freshman in high school. One day after a heavy storm, I was riding my usual route through the parking lot of a local restaurant. I thought I saw some money on the ground, so I stopped and looked. First there was a 20, then another 20, some singles, a 5, and finally a 50. I was shaking as I picked up all the money and looked around to see if I was on a hidden camera show or something. I picked up my bike after shoving the money in my pocket and rode off to school. Later that day, when I got home, I counted all of my new loot and basked in my good fortunes. Fast forward a few years, I actually work at that restaurant now. As a bartender at that particular restaurant, you get to take your cash tips home with you at the end of the night. So I had a particularly good night and figured I would go to the bar next door for a drink. As I'm leaving the bar, it was raining really hard and I was fumbling with my key to my car, and I finally got it in and got home and passed right out from the long shift. I woke up the next morning to find that my earnings from the night before were missing. I figured I must have dropped them in the parking lot when I was fumbling with my keys. I went back to the parking lot and looked around, but to no avail. All in all, I lost, you guessed it, 2 20s, a 5, a couple singles, and a 50. After I got over the fact that I just lost about $100 due to my own stupidity, I was seriously weirded out at the idea that there may have been an infinite loop of me giving myself $100 in the past. Case notes for file 1102, a time loop of cash. So what a unique glitch, and the best kind. Loops of cash. Humans get caught in time anomalies all the time, ironically. No reason physical objects couldn't be too. I don't think it's a loop necessarily. I think time travel works through the multiverse in order to eliminate paradoxes. So, the money that traveled to you from the future, perhaps on some guaranteed level, but it was from a future you in a different universe. And then you repeat the pattern, but then it's another you in a different universe that'll receive those funds, set in the past of that alternate universe. It's kinda neat. And it does preserve the timelines in each separate universe because there's no paradoxes. If you go back in time and kill your grandma, well, you're just killing your grandma in that universe. So in that universe you won't exist, but in your original universe you do, so the timeline is preserved. There's no paradox because you didn't kill yourself, the person that actually went back in time. You're in a different universe. It would make sense if the simulation is structured this way, and there's all kinds of parameters in physics that operate this way to preserve the function of the universe, like the Lorentz transformation in terms of time slowing down depending on how quick you're going. We have a timeline where we're moving at 100% through time, and then if we increase our velocity through space, then the amount we're moving through time diminishes. it's an exponential curve, so the faster you go, there's not much difference. You're not really drawing much from your time pool. But as you approach the speed of light, the speed of causality, the speed limit of the universe, I like to say, if you have mass interacting with the Higgs boson, then you're drawing more from the time pool. Case file number 1103, written by Dying to Meet You 5. The Great Nexus Pass Disappearance. This was during the pandemic, 2021. I, female 53, work in an animal rescue as a cross-border transporter, and I have a Nexus pass to get back and forth. The card is the same size as a driver's license, but it's kept in an RFID envelope to protect the data. One day, I was supposed to go back to the US from Canada, and I reached into the side pocket of my purse where it's kept to pull it out for crossing. The border was closed for regular traffic, but rescues could cross via commercial because having a pet is considered helpful for isolated people. So I reach in, and my pass isn't there. Now here's the odd thing. I had just put the pass in my pocket 30 minutes prior as I was bringing a load into Canada. I knew I had put it there because I checked before I zipped up the pocket. I'm paranoid about losing my pass, so I'm ultra careful with it. I'm trying not to lose my mind because I need to go back, and losing your cool isn't helpful with border agents. I pulled over to the side of the road and methodically went through my purse. Nothing. I empty out my purse completely, looking at each item carefully to make sure I'm not confused. No Nexus pass. I search for the driver's seat. Nope. I get out and do a grid search of my whole vehicle. Not there. I went back to the CBSA office to look around. I asked the officer I dealt with. He tells me that he saw me put it in my purse pocket. I must be losing my mind. I thank him and leave. I check the car and my purse again. Nada. I even went back that night to see if the cleaners found anything. Nope. Meanwhile, I let all my rescuers know that I can't cross. I don't know what's going on, but I order a replacement just in case. I am stuck for a month, waiting for the replacement, periodically searching for the card. It comes, and after I activate it, I go to my purse and put it in the zippered pocket, so I won't lose it again. As soon as I open the pocket, there's my old Nexus pass, while I'm holding on to my new Nexus pass. I've turned that purse inside out, looking for that bloody pass, and it's sitting in the pocket, all pleased as it can be. I feel like I've gone and lost my ever-loving mind, holding 2 Nexus passes. I yelled at the poltergeist that must have been farting around because that pass was gone. I had other people looking for it too. Matrix or whatever, I was hopping irritated. What pocket universe did it slip into for all that time? Case notes for file 1103, The Great Nexus Pass Disappearance. Sometimes DOP does seem to be like a poltergeist prank. Sometimes the item reappears as soon as the replacement card or utensil or whatever item it is that was taken is replaced. Like a wallet too, or examples of jewelry, things like that. So I don't buy that as being random. Either it's a poltergeist, a spirit, or literally just a prankster in the real world or the simulation above ours that is literally just messing with us. And I could definitely see that happening because it's part of my spirit to mess with people. And if you want to have fun, I recommend the Just for Laughs YouTube channel. They have tons of pranks on there, and they're from my hometown of Montreal, and they're good. They mess with people, but in fun, wholesome ways. Now time for the quote of the day. Give a man a fire, and he's warm for a night. Set him on fire, and he's warm for the rest of his life. Terry Pratchett. Yeah, that's true. Man, I feel rather warm. Oh no. What's that, Ben? What are you doing? What are you doing, Ben? What's that? Yeah. What's that noise? You don't like the noise, Ben? What is that? Oh. What's that? Someone's at the door? Huh, Ben? Yeah, Ben? Look at all your fur on the floor. Oh my god.